Farm Bureau Insurance online to find a local agent today. TFNB, your bank for life. The official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Baylor Scott and White Health, the official hospital and healthcare system of Baylor Athletics. Your healthcare, your way. HEB, the official grocer of Baylor Athletics. Proudly serving Texans since 1905. Rudy's Barbecue, the home of real Texas barbecue. Now, here's your host, the voice of the Baylor Bears, John Morris.
He's on the Circle in Waco, the Baylor Coaches Show presented by Central National Bank. Night before Thanksgiving. Thanks to those of you that are here enjoying a Thanksgiving Eve at Rudy's, and those of you watching Baylor Athletics YouTube channel, those of you listening on our flagship station in Waco, we appreciate your being with us tonight. And join me in welcoming our first guest this evening, Michael Ford, Baylor's track and field coach. Welcome to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
This is, you were reminding me, this is kind of your week. Like we either asked you or you were here Thanksgiving week last year.
Yeah, this is like my anniversary, so I'm always glad to be here in Waco, either watching the Bears play football or spending time with my family.
Very nice.
Yeah.
We're glad you're here. Thanks for your time this evening. And folks say, well, what are you going to talk about with track and field? Well, there's always something to talk about,
Always
right?
something.
No matter what time of year it is.
Yeah, always something to talk about.
Yeah.
All season, summer coming up,
Right.
sprint,
whatever
it is.
Yeah, Sprint, Netflix, right. We'll talk about that. But you would consider this, I mean, this is sort of as much of an off-season as you get. It's kind of right now, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say for track at least. I mean, right now we just finished cross country, and the rest of the team is getting ready for indoor. Basically, we have this week off, and then we start back next week, and we have 2 weeks before finals, and then we let them go home for 2 weeks, and then they come back, and then we open up on January 10th.
Okay.
Down at A&M.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. So, even at that, it's not a long stretch of a break, like a week here and a couple of weeks there around Christmas.
Yeah, I think we're probably the only sport that actually takes, like, weeks off, and then we jump right into our season.
Right.
And so it's always critical that our student athletes, hopefully they work out over the break, like those 2 weeks they're away from us. We just trust them and trust in God that they're going to do it. And then our season just goes from January to June, and then even into August if we have international meets. Yeah.
That's true. How much I mean, they have to be mature about it. I mean, they have to know that when they're gone from here, a little bit of a break from here, they've got to do the regimen that you have for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a big critical. I think we, as coaches, we sit down with our groups and we explain to them how critical it is to do the workouts. And as coaches, we also know they're probably not going to do everything that we have written down. So we try to make sure they modify whatever, because we have some kids that live up north, and the weather is different. So we just try to make sure. I always tell my group, if you can get 3 days out of the 5, I'll be happy, and then we'll get back to it. I think the big thing is, as long as I get them ready by February, the third week in February for Big 12s, then we'll be good to go.
I got you.
Yeah.
Do you send when they do go home? Do you send them home with a practice schedule?
Yeah. So even this week, we sent a week workouts.
Yeah.
We had some that chose to stay here for a little bit because Baylor, I think the last 2 years at Baylor, we were out of school on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, right.
And then the last couple of years, we started getting out the week before. And so now they have the whole week, and we can't keep them in. So, but a lot of them have been checking in, just telling us how they're doing, if they're doing something or they modified it. Yeah. So that's what we try to do over the Christmas break too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very good. You were telling me you got some here, some of the pros really, like Trayvon Bromell and Will London are here working out.
Yeah, they're going to get ready. They have an indoor season. They have a World Championship indoor this year. So both want to run. Trayvon hasn't run indoor since he won the World Championships indoor in 2016. Okay. So he decided that's what he wanted to do. So we're going to do that. And Will London ran last year, made it to USA's, made it to the finals in the 4. And then Matthew Moore, they're both trying to compete for 2 spots on the 4x the 400. And so I think they have a good shot. Indoor is not as big because you have another world championship this year too outdoor.
Okay.
So a lot of people probably won't do indoor, but they'll get ready for outdoor.
I got you.
After a long
and
season.
Help me remember, is that schedule like Olympics 1 year and then Worlds 2 years later, or the next year?
Yeah, so they've added Worlds. So Worlds actually be, so we'll have World Championship this year, then I believe another World Championship, then an off year, and then the next Olympics in 28, and then we'll have another World Championship.
Okay.
So we go pretty much every year. There's some major championship for us. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Makes sense. I mean, fill the calendar, with big events.
Yeah, they fill it. But it just makes the season so much longer. I mean, I think this year I finished up in right the week before school started.
Yeah.
Going to the Olympics. So
you had no
that
all
was,
season.
Yeah, no all season.
We want to talk to you about the Olympics and your experience there. There's one more person that's here that she's going to work out to try to be a part of the Olympic bobsled team.
Yeah, Carrie Jones is a Baylor grad. She was a 100, 200 runner for us.
Yeah.
She actually made 3 U.S. Bobsled teams in the past. And then she wanted to have kids, and so she has 2 little boys now.
Yeah.
And then USA Bobsled asked her to come back.
Wow.
And so now she's trying to get back in shape. Yeah, so she just had a baby. I think her baby's maybe like 4 months old.
Okay.
And so she just started back. Yeah.
Wow, man. And those Winter Olympics would be when, 26?
I think 26.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, I'm more of a summer
I
Olympic.
know.
So,
Yeah, so Summer Olympics were 24. Next will be 28. I think Winter is 26 and 30. So
yeah, I think
how
so
about
too.
that? That's
Yeah,
great. Did she have a
that'll
good
be
chance
awesome.
to make the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think her last tryout, she was like they do a selection, so she was like one selection short the last time she did it. So
Okay.
she has a good shot.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, I want you to tell us about your Olympic experience.
Okay.
What a great deal. Michael was the sprint and hurdles coach, assistant coach for USA track and field. Great achievement just being selected for that. So we'll talk about that and more when we come back. We are live at Rudy's on the Circle in Waco. Thanks to our hosts here at Rudy's. They have been busy with Thanksgiving tomorrow. Turkeys are flying out the door. But we appreciate Rudy's very much. And we'll be back with more of our Baylor Coaches Show presented by Central National Bank right after this.
Welcome to the Make It Jingle with Kris Kringle podcast. Today we're talking to Jan from Toyota, all about Toyotathon.
Hi.
So, tell me about Toyotathon.
Well, from now until January 6th is the perfect time to get a new Camry, RAV4, Highlander, and more.
Oh, how exciting. So what can you do in a new Toyota this holiday season?
With a new RAV4, you can go snowboarding with your friends.
I love dashing through the snow.
Take a Camry to a tree lighting ceremony.
Sounds merry and bright.
Or even load up the family in a Highlander to go ice skating.
What a jolly good time. So, Jan, got any red Tacomas? After my big job, I'm taking the missus down to Florida to go surfing.
Florida? I'm there.
Dealer inventory may vary. Current offers on these vehicles end December 2nd. Offers are subject to change throughout Toyotathon, which ends on January 6th. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota. Let's go places. During Toyotathon, qualified buyers can get 2.99% APR financing for 72 months on a rugged new 2025 Tundra. Offer available in select states only.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB Your Bank for Life. Member FDIC.
Y'all listen up. Let me tell you something about group meals from Rudy's Barbecue. It's got all you need for all the folks you gotta feed, smoked meat, sides, and more. There's everything down to the tablecloth, just like the one that you see at the stores. At a bridal shower, it's better than flowers. And a long business meeting, it'll pass the hours. It'll beat all the cousins at a family function. It's better than potluck at a church luncheon. Next time you need to feed 10 or more, call an order of Rudy's Group Meal.
Next in line.
You're listening to the Baylor Coaches Show on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Rudy's, it's presented by Central National Bank. Central National Bank, your leading independent bank. With Michael Ford, Baylor track and field coach. This is our final show for the fall semester. We'll be back in the spring and get you that schedule coming up very shortly. We'll have you back multiple times in the spring. So you're taking the bullet here on the night before Thanksgiving. But with Coach Michael Ford, who was an assistant coach for USA Track and Field at the Paris Olympics. Again, congratulations, man, just being selected for that. That's a huge deal.
Thank you so much. It was definitely a blessing, huge honor. I think the next one, if I'll be a head coach at the Olympics one, maybe the next, maybe 28 or maybe 32.
28, which is in L.A., right?
Yes.
Oh, how great would that be?
That would be awesome.
Yeah. You don't know that yet?
No, I actually have to put my name in a hat if I decide to do it. I don't know if I want the responsibility yet, but maybe 4 years from now I will.
How was the experience compared to what you thought it might be?
I think just like we have director of ops for our program, our team managers, they do pretty much everything. So it's actually they do the meetings, they set up everything. So for me, it's just being on the track, assisting the personal coaches and the coach and the athletes who didn't have coaches there. So for me, it was just I was at the track all day, and I enjoyed it just because I got to see some of the fastest people in the world compete and train. Gave me a lot of motivation coming back to Waco with my group. But it was just awesome to be there in Paris. And just having one big goal was to win as many medals as we possibly could. And we ended up winning, I think, 34 medals. And that was our highest ever at a non-boycott year.
Yeah.
And so I'll never forget that experience.
That's cool. Yeah. Very cool. What's the dynamic like with you as a Team USA coach? But all these, sprinters especially, but probably all of them at that level have personal coaches also.
Yeah. And so a lot of times what we try to do is I'm kind of like the middleman between the personal coaches and their athletes. And so I actually still have my group chat with all the athletes and the personal coaches. So I would literally send out a schedule, say, hey, we're going to be at the track at this time. What time do you want to be out there? If you can't come, let me know. We had a couple of athletes that their coaches – actually, when they were in Paris, they got sick. And so they would actually send me the workouts that they had them do.
Oh, wow.
And then I would just kind of coach them through those workouts. And it was just making sure they knew what time to check in points, because that was, I think at the Olympics, that's probably the most critical part is making sure they check in on time and making sure they get to the track. That was probably the biggest thing.
Be on time. Don't miss your race.
Because I'm thinking like they're professionals, and at Baylor, we do our schedule for our athletes, and I'm like, well, these are professionals; they'll understand that too, and they're probably just as worse as our student athletes.
Really?
So, but it was great to be around like Noah Lyles, Fred Curley, those guys I was around quite a bit. Yeah.
Noah, he got sick over there, didn't he?
Yeah, actually had COVID.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he actually, after he won the 100.
Okay.
And he was drinking a protein shake, and he said, man, it doesn't taste right.
Oh, man.
So I think he was losing his taste buds then. And then the next day we get a text and say, someone on the U.S. team has COVID. They didn't tell us who it was.
Yeah.
And then I go back to the hotel, because I didn't stay in the village, I stayed in the hotel. And I see Noah Lyles at the hotel, and I said, well, it must be Noah Lyles.
Yeah.
And then the next day they sent the text out and said it was Noah Lyles. And I actually was his chaperone the rest of the time.
Huh.
Yeah, so I'm wearing a mask the whole time for those next 4 days. And it was just interesting. I got a chance to talk to Noah a lot more about his journey. A lot of people always say that he's really cocky the way he performs, but he said it's more so for him. So every time he says he wants to do this or this, people take it as being cocky, but for him it's like self-motivating himself. And so we got a lot of time to spend together. He's very humble, and just his training regimen was fantastic just to watch him compete. And I wish he would have done it a lot better in the two.
Right.
But he still got a medal. I'm like, you have COVID and you still get third.
Amazing, yeah.
And then he probably would have been on a relay if he wasn't sick.
Yeah. Man, that's amazing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that he had COVID, and I'm sorry that you had that took up a lot of your time probably with him.
It was interesting because even he was at the village, and so I would actually meet him at the village, and then they would tell me, you can take an Uber to the track with him, or if you get on the shuttle, sit in the back of the shuttle. And then if it's too many people got on the shuttle, then get off the shuttle and probably take an Uber. And so, but you have to wear a mask. And then when he got to the track, he couldn't go into the team tent.
Yeah.
He had his trainer, his coach, everybody was outside the tent.
Yeah.
So it was really hard for him. But I mean, he basically kind of sucked it up and went for it after that. Yeah.
And he did get bronze in the 200.
Yeah,
right?
he got bronze in 2, won the gold in
Yeah.
the 100.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Was there, you always, and we talked about this before you left, but that sense of USA pride, red, white, and blue, USA on your chest.
Yeah.
Were you so busy, focused on what you were doing, or did you get a sense of that, you're representing the United States?
Oh, yeah, no, we were, I mean, every morning we sat down as a staff and was like, hey, how many medals can we win today? Like, we don't want Germany or even the French winning medals. And even in our team camp, I have some videos of us like going crazy because the track to the practice track to the main track, you literally had to probably go almost half a mile to get there. So we would literally stay in the tent and watch the track meet on TV. So okay. I'm literally watching NBC. Yeah. In the tent, watching it. So I'm hearing the U.S. broadcast of the meet. But just to see that pride, and every time they won a medal, coming back, and we were able to see them, talk to them, get pictures with them afterwards, and it was a great feeling.
That's terrific. Yeah. 34 medals, you
34
said?
medals.
Most ever.
Most ever.
And you were right there. You're a big reason why. That's very cool. Well, congratulations again. That's really fun. All right, let's take a break. When we come back with Michael Ford, Baylor track and field coach. Your questions from the audience. We got a bunch. Bob Barrett has hours worth of questions. We'll get to as many as we can, but your questions from the audience when we come back. It's the Baylor Coaches Show presented by Central National Bank. We are live at Rudy's on the Circle in Waco. Thanks to Rudy's, a proud sponsor of Baylor Athletics. Be sure to stop by your local Rudy's or Rudy's.com for some real Texas barbecue. Enjoy 100% oak smoked meats, delicious sides, and Rudy's signature sauce. Don't forget, Rudy serves breakfast tacos every day until 10 a.m. Take a break. Back with more with Coach Michael Ford talking Baylor track and field on the Baylor Coaches Show right after this.
Kids can now join the Baylor Cup Club, presented by Green Eye Associates, the official kids club of Baylor Athletics. Fans 12 and under can register for the low cost of $25 and gain exclusive benefits and access to Baylor Athletics events. Members receive free admission to select events, exclusive giveaway access, and their own membership package. To register your Cub, please visit BaylorBears.com/Cub Club. Sign your Cub up today and sick 'em Bears.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB Your Bank for Life. Member FDIC.
Have you gone gold yet? Go gold with Baylor Athletics this season and be the gold factor across each of our sports. Wear exclusive Go Gold apparel from the Baylor bookstore at the upcoming Go Gold dates. To stay up to date on some golden opportunities, visit BaylorBears.com/Go Gold. Go Gold and sick 'em Bears.
Premier ER and Urgent Care has all the convenience of urgent care with all the expertise of an ER, all under one roof. At every visit, be seen by ER-trained staff with on-site lab and CT, X-ray, ultrasound, and EKG. Here, you pay for the appropriate level of care that you receive, and we are in-network with most major insurance providers. Premier ER and Urgent Care has 4 convenient locations serving Texas: San Marcos, Temple, Waco, and Woodway. To learn more, visit www.premier.care.
You're listening to the Baylor Coaches Show on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Presented by Central National Bank. We're live at Rudy's on the Circle in Waco. Michael Ford, our leadoff guest tonight. Dave Aranda will be here coming up in a few minutes. Baylor football, the season finale, regular season finale this Saturday against Kansas, a big game at McLean Stadium. We have, as I mentioned, questions from the audience, some really good questions for you.
Yeah,
okay?
Hopefully I'm ready to answer.
I'm sure you are. This one we sort of talked about, but maybe there's something different. Roy, who works every one of your meets, you know that. Thank you, Roy, for that. Roy Evans says.
Great supporter of track and field.
Tremendous, yes. He says, what is your best Paris story? Anything come to mind that we haven't talked about?
Well, the no allows was probably the big one, but every day I would walk from the hotel to the village just to take the shuttle to the track, and the French kids were out, and we would have these pins that we would have on our lanyards, and they would always ask for them. And I'm like, I gave you one yesterday. and every day the same kids would come up to me and ask for pins.
Right.
That was one story, and then I think just the chaos that we had getting into the village, not the village, but getting into the track. I know Sha'Carri Richardson had some issues and getting in, and they would let you in, but they wouldn't let you out. And I would, the first 2 days, I could walk from the track to my hotel, and then all of a sudden they said I couldn't do it anymore.
Weird.
And they told me I had to get on the bus.
Wow.
Go to the village, and then I would have to walk from the village back to the hotel, and I would pass my hotel on the shuttle.
Right.
And so, yeah, they just had a lot of crazy experience with their travel. But
was that security related?
I think so. I think they just kept changing it every day. They changed it or the other thing was, you get off the bus, they would put tape on the doors of the bus. So I guess if you broke the seal, they would know something happened.
Yeah.
But when we got to the track, they would scan your lanyard. So you would walk through one gate, scan it, and then you'll walk to another gate, probably 100 meters. They would scan it again. I'm like, they just scanned it there.
Yeah.
And then they would scan it again before you got on the practice track.
Right.
And so that was every day.
That's wild.
Yeah, and then sometimes it didn't work. So I would get through one gate, and then the next gate it wouldn't work, and then they would tell me go back to the first gate, and then
Good.
Yeah.
That's wild. All right, very good. Thanks for sharing all those stories with us. David Rothrock, where's David? David is, all right there. David asks a couple of questions.
Okay.
For track first, what is the training regimen for track athletes? Cardio, strength, academic, hours per week, hours per day?
Good question. With those questions, you could be a coach.
Maybe he is.
But for us, it's different. I'm only going to speak for the sprints because that's what my main thing. For the training purposes, we go acceleration work. So like a speed day, usually a speed day on Monday. Tuesday is more of a tempo. So we will do like repeat 200s on Tuesday, that kind of form with short rest. Wednesday is a recovery day. I think mentally, physically, they need a break. So that's usually massage or just basically hanging out at their apartment or doing some schoolwork. And then Wednesday is like a longer speed day. And then Friday, I call it a Friday finisher. And then our Friday is like a longer day. So on the sprint side, we may go anywhere from, on the long end, maybe like 500 meters to the short end, like 300 meters. And that's pretty much the whole year we're doing that form. And then school-wise, we have luckily our academic services are really great. And so we actually have a block-off time. So normally our kids go to class from probably 8 o'clock to about 12. And then we'll have some that have labs in the evening, but we'll break it down that way. So normally our practice times are usually from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and then we might have a group that comes at 2 to 4. And then our weight room is usually 3:30. One group will go at 3:30. The other group goes at 4:30. And it's like that all year. But then when the season starts, we'll usually lift weights just Monday and Wednesday. Right now we're lifting Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So they're doing 4 days this like in the fall. But when we're starting our season, we'll just go Monday and Wednesday. Because we'll usually travel a lot on usually Thursdays. Yeah.
Fascinating. That's great. There you go. Which weight room do y'all use now?
We still use Hires.
Hires? Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
Which is sort of, you got a little more access now, right?
Room now. Yeah. We also use Williams.
Yes.
From time to time.
Over at soccer.
Over at soccer. Yeah. But our main one is at Hires now with Coach Ruth.
Because football moved out to the new Fudge football facility, so you got easier access.
Yes,
let's
a lot
say.
easier access.
Yeah. All right, very good. All right, here's Bob Barrett's first question. Bob, one we talked about with elite sprinters and their own coach and how you worked in with that. He also asked about the filming of Sprint, the documentary, I guess you call it, on Netflix.
Yes, season 2.
We're in season 2.
Yes, we're in season 2.
How did that go? How is that going?
Well, I haven't seen season 2 at all yet.
How was season 1?
Season 1 was very interesting. They picked maybe like 6 athletes. Noah Lyles he was the main one. Sha'Carri Richardson, a couple of the Jamaican athletes, and they kind of just followed them throughout the whole year, getting ready for the championship. So that year was a world championship year, and now season 2 is them getting prepared for the Olympics, and then how the preparation went, and then how they did at the Olympics.
Yeah.
And so I haven't seen it.
That's fascinating.
But I do know that the camera crew followed us around quite a bit at the meet. So they would come to. I don't think they didn't have access to our the USA had a training facility. They didn't have access to that, but they did have access to the practice track, and so they were there quite a bit.
Right. I want to watch that. That's really cool. All right, very good. That's Sprint. It's on Netflix if you want to track that down. Bob also asked, do you have any Dennis Mitchell stories?
No, I don't. Dennis Mitchell is probably one of the things I love about Dennis Mitchell is most really good athletes, they're not good coaches. But he's probably the exception to the rule. He gets into his athletes' head quite a bit, but he knows what buttons to push to make them successful. But he's one of the few coaches that was a great athlete that has turned into a really good professional coach. And so I have a lot of respect for him. I actually was on a Zoom call with him on Friday just talking about training. And so, but no, he's one of the best ones out there.
Very good. All right, final question. Who is someone who will be successful for Baylor this coming spring? Who might surprise us?
Well, I think every kid on our team will be successful in some form of fashion. But I think our freshman group, we have some really good freshmen. I would say JL, he's from South Africa. He's a thrower. Coach Shaq has done a great job with him. He was second at under-20 Worlds this past August. I think he's going to have a really good season. I also think that our pole vault duel, they're going to do really well. Molly and Alencia. Molly won under-20 World Championship, so I think this is her breakout year, at least on the NCAA side. But our freshman group is they've been really training hard, and so I'm looking forward to seeing them. And of course, you got Nate and Zaza, who made the Olympic team this past year and represented Nigeria really well, and so I think they're going to do awesome too. I think everybody's going to do well. I think just the big critical part is just making sure that they train over the break, and God willing, we don't have any major injuries, but the team is looking really good right now.
Alexis Brown, she's back.
Alexis Brown is back. She's looking better than last year, and so it's kind of scary. She had a really good season, 22.5 and long jump, got fifth at the U.S. trials. She's running faster this year, so she could probably be one of those first ones that jump 23 feet, no pressure on Coach Smith, but 23 feet and probably run 11 flat, and that's no pressure on me. But no, she's looking really good.
Man, very cool. Well, thanks for being here. Happy Thanksgiving to you. We appreciate your time. We'll definitely have you back in the spring. Thanks very much.
I appreciate you.
Michael Ford, Baylor's track and field coach, U.S. Olympic sprint coach at the Paris Olympics. We'll take a break. When we come back, Coach Dave Aranda joins us. We'll turn the focus to Baylor football, closing the regular season this Saturday. We'll do that when we come back on the Baylor Coaches Show, presented by Central National Bank, your leading independent bank. And we'll be right back after this.
Welcome to the Make It Jingle with Chris Kringle podcast. Today we're talking to Jan from Toyota, all about Toyotathon.
Hi.
So, tell me about Toyotathon.
Well, from now until January 6th is the perfect time to get a new Camry, RAV4, Highlander, and more.
Oh, how exciting. So what can you do in a new Toyota this holiday season?
With a new RAV4, you can go snowboarding with your friends.
I love dashing through the snow.
Take a Camry to a tree lighting ceremony.
Sounds merry and bright.
Or even load up the family in a Highlander to go ice skating.
What a jolly good time. So, Jan, got any red Tacomas? After my big job, I'm taking the missus down to Florida to go surfing.
Florida? I'm there.
Dealer inventory may vary. Current offers on these vehicles end December 2nd. Offers are subject to change throughout Toyotathon, which ends on January 6th. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota. Let's go places. During Toyotathon, qualified buyers can get 2.99% APR financing for 72 months on a rugged new 2025 Tundra. Offer available in select states only.
Are you a proud Baylor fan? Do you love prizes? The Baylor Sports app allows fans to track their attendance across athletic events and earn points using Baylor Bold Rewards. Baylor Athletics wants to reward the most loyal fans for cheering on the Bears, so register online today at BaylorBoldRewards.com.
Yes, got it.
Download the Baylor Sports app straight to your phone. Prizes this year are better than ever, so start earning your points today. Hey Baylor fans, Baylor's soccer season is currently underway. Come be a part of the action at Betty Lou Mays Field all season long and watch head coach Michelle Leonard and the Bears battle against the best in the Big 12. Score your tickets for game day right now at BaylorBears.com/tickets. We'll see you at Betty Lou. Sic 'em Bears.
From the Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios, this is KRZI Waco, K222DC Waco, K265DV Temple, ESPN Central Texas. You're listening to the Baylor Coaches Show on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Back on the Baylor Coaches Show on this Wednesday evening, night before Thanksgiving. Let's give you our Baylor Scott and White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics health tip for the week. Don't let pain slow you down. We diagnose and treat sports-related injuries and provide orthopedic services for athletes and non-athletes alike. Visit a Baylor Scott and White sports medicine and orthopedic specialist and move like you used to. Folks, join me in welcoming Baylor head football coach Dave Aranda with us here at Rudy's. Welcome, Coach.
No, appreciate it. Good to be here.
Coach Aranda and the Bears, winners of 5 in a row, going for 6 in a row this Saturday against Kansas. What a second half of the season you guys have put together.
No, I appreciate that. I mean, our players are playing confident, they're believing, and it's amazing what belief will do. You know, guys are playing through their talent and through
all their abilities, and they're owning it, and it's a big difference, and it's good to see. Is it too simple to say what's been the big factor in the turnaround for you?
Yeah, it's belief. You know, you'd like to say that all the outside stuff doesn't affect the inside stuff, but I think it does. You know, and I think that you do your best to not have it be that way, and you talk about how to manage it and kind of how to maneuver through it, maybe how to use it for good, you know, and not drown in it. But you know, I think the DBs are probably a good example of this. I think we're winning, and we've struggled to make plays when the ball's in the air and everything else, and it got to some points where we were being in practice, and it was a 7-on-7 versus our scout unit, and our scout unit is, mossing us, and so it gets to the point to where it's like, I don't know if I can do this. And then once you have some success, and then as coaches you use that for good, and then all of a sudden you know that you can do it, and you know that you were made to do it, and that this is for you, and it's always been that way. And so I think that within the team has been happening. But, be tested Saturday, because the team we're playing, you could see they got that same thing going over there, too.
Yeah, similar type story. They started, Kansas started 1-5. You guys were 2-4. You were 0-3 in conference. And I love the way you kept a steady hand on the wheel and didn't panic. Didn't you feel like, and internally, didn't you feel like you guys, that wasn't you, that wasn't your record?
Yeah, there probably should be more just emotion, just general. I think that's kind of always been the thing, is that. So when you win, it's good. When you don't win, it's not looked at as being good,
Right.
And so when you win, it's a better view. But I think we all knew that we were a good team, and we knew that we had talent. And yeah, I think that's the bottom line. I think guys knew that, man, I've seen these guys go, I've seen my teammates go, I know these coaches can coach, and we've seen it in spots we just couldn't all put it together, And so to do it now, and to build it. And the coolest thing is just the belief of the guys in themselves and the belief in the guy they're left and right, because that's just a contagious thing. And so it took a while, but here we are.
Yeah, it really shows in a number of areas. To me, the offensive line is one area, and then your improved running game is the byproduct of that.
Yeah, I think a huge difference. You know, early in the season, struggling to run, struggling to have the time to throw, and then, you know, I think it was after that first bye, just a lot of work was put into, you know, there's some moving pieces, there was some motivation and kind of technique improvement. There was some changing of scheme, a tweak here and a tweak there. And I think putting all that together, and then just the tech, I think that very first run of that tech game was like 7-8 yards. And I remember everyone at the time was like, you know, what just happened right there, you know? And then it just became like that was the thing. And so, you know, guys are playing how we've always seen them. And now they're just doing it so everyone else can see. And so that's cool.
If you look back to that open date, came after Iowa State, which we thought at the time, or I thought, not a great time for an open date coming off that. What did you guys do? Did you just get back in? Did you go back to basics? Or there was a little bit of shifting in the offensive line, but what was it in that extra period with the open date that you came out of it so strong?
Yeah, sometimes it's hard when it's just you're in the same room as coaches all the time, and you're talking to the same people about the same things all the time, and it becomes, I'm sure there's a word for it, but it becomes kind of an echo chamber. And you know, I say this for an example. We're playing Grimy, who I have so much respect for, and he's got those boys playing so good right now. I think the running back may be the best performing player in our conference right now, Devin Neal over there. And so, you know, there's something that we want to do, and we've talked about it as a staff quite a bit. It's a movement and all this other thing, and we're trying to see, you know, I feel like we've done it a lot, and, you know, I feel like there's something that we have to be careful about showing and everything else. And I had Joe Ludwig, is one of our assistants, kind of look up how many times we've run it, and we've been in a certain situation 39 times, and we did it 3 times. And for me, it was like we did it 30 of the 39 times, you know. But it happens because you talk so much about it, and then you have to look at the actual thing and not do it, so you have to see the truth, you know. So that off-season, that bye week was like seeing the truth. And like, you know, hey, this is really what's happening. This isn't what you think or what you want to think. This is really it. You know, this is what you got. We talked about, like, you know, having a baby, and it could be it's an ugly baby. You got to love it anyways, and you have to, you know. And so, like, you have to own it. And so there's a lot of that. So that stuff's hard to do. But I think from there you can get real answers, you know, and try to get solutions.
Defensively, do you feel like it's been sort of a steady climb, improving the whole season?
You know, we have to, you know, it's going to be a way big test this Saturday with, you know, I look at this last game, Kansas and Colorado. I want to say Colorado had like 50 plays, I think, and Kansas had like 80-something. And so Kansas just kind of beat them up, you know, ball control and ground and pound and all that. And so we played a lot of plays this year. And so, you know, offense scores fast. We kind of bend but don't break, and we're on the field a lot. And so if it's like that on Saturday, I don't know if we win, you know. If our offense needs more than 50 snaps. And so we're going to have to improve that phase of it. And, you know, Kansas is really, really good on third down. They're one of the top teams in the country, but it's because they're so good on first down. And they go for it on fourth down. This would be similar to playing Air Force or a military academy school, where if it's 4th and 1 or 2, it's a sure bet thing. And so our first down defense has to be the best that it's been. And so there's been improvement, but we need a big step coming up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about that Kansas game coming up this Saturday. We'll do that with Coach Aranda after a break. Stay with us. It's the Baylor Coaches Show presented by Central National Bank. We are live at Rudy's on the Circle in Waco. Thank y'all for being here. I mean, it's the night before Thanksgiving. Give yourselves a hand. We appreciate you being here. We'll take a break and be right back.
Are you ready for the action-packed experience of Baylor volleyball? Come watch the Bears all season long at the Farrell Center as the team battles to bring home another Big 12 Conference championship to Waco. Secure your seats at BaylorBears.com/tickets and come be a part of the action courtside. Youth teams can also sign up to be Anthem Buddies and join the team on the court before first serve by emailing fan_engagement@Baylor.edu. We'll see you at the Farrell Center and Sic 'em Bears.
Premier ER and Urgent Care has all the convenience of urgent care with all the expertise of an ER, all under one roof. At every visit, be seen by ER-trained staff with on-site lab and CT, X-ray, ultrasound, and EKG. Here, you pay for the appropriate level of care that you receive, and we are in network with most major insurance providers. Premier ER and Urgent Care has 4 convenient locations serving Texas: San Marcos, Temple, Waco, and Woodway. To learn more, visit www.premier.care.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB Your Bank for Life. Member FDIC.
Y'all listen up. Let me tell you something about group meals from Rudy's Barbecue. It's got all you need for all the folks you gotta feed, smoked meat, sides, and more. There's everything down to the tablecloth, just like the one that you see at the store. At a bridal shower, it's better than flowers. And a long business meeting, it'll pass the hours. It'll feed all the cousins at a family function. It's better than potluck at a church luncheon. Next time you need to feed 10 or more, call and order a Rudy's group meal.
Next in line.
You're listening to the Baylor Coaches Show on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
The Baylor Coaches Show presented by Central National Bank with Baylor head football coach Dave Aranda. Bears sitting at 7-4 on the season. As we said, winners of 5 in a row and going for 6 in a row this Saturday, hosting Kansas. Similar path had it been for Kansas the way they started the season. They come in winners of 3 straight over 3 ranked opponents.
Yeah, and you look at that Kansas State game, that was a game they won. And so, that'd be 4 in a row. When you put on the tape, it's they're playing better than any team that we've played, or any team that we've looked at. And so, maybe it's what people look like when they look at our offense and they just kind of move through. That's what it looks like when you watch them. And so it's you put it on, you kind of sit up right away, and you kind of know that, hey, this is going to require our best. I know that's felt all throughout the building.
You mentioned Devin Neal having a great season. Their running back, Jalen Daniels, was the preseason Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year. He's really come on, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. He's feeling confident. He's making throws that he can make. If you play off coverage on them, this would be similar. We went through this with Gary Bohannon in 21, where if the guys line up into the field, that corner's way off, he'll take the field out. He gets to the midfield, he's going to throw posts. They move the pocket on dashes and boots. That's kind of what they're doing there, and then fair amount of quarterback run once you get in the red zone. And so, we've seen this before. They're doing it at a really high level, though, and they're playing complementary football with the defense and special teams.
You mentioned Jeff Grimes is their offensive coordinator. He was here. You know him a little bit, maybe know his tendencies, but he sort of knows Baylor and knows you as well.
Oh, yeah. It goes – this whole season, it just seemed, whether it was Houston or Tech or Utah, there's coaches Utah, and then BYU coaches that coached at Wisconsin. There's just so many. I guess it just happens when you get older. There's just so many people that you work with and had conversations with philosophy on and the whole thing, so they all know all the things, and so it just takes you to a higher level of the execution that you got to get to.
How much of a challenge is that when you go against guys, that know you pretty well, maybe have worked with you?
Yeah, it's tough. I think you have to it helps if you do the simple stuff good. If you can do simple stuff good, then you can do simple better, If you're not really doing simple stuff good, then it can be a big struggle, because I think then we talked to Iowa State, when you watch them, they always play well, and they're strong, and they're consistent, all this other thing. they did not have a great game versus Kansas. And there's coaches that are on the Kansas staff that were at Iowa State, and it was like, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that, and they did too much. They got outside of the range of what they can do, and so it's always it's tough. You have to kind of measure it. You'd want to do the stuff you do, but you want to have a changeup or two in your back pocket.
What is the Kansas defense like?
They got two really good corners. Their two corners lead the Big 12 in interceptions, and so they've got really good ball skills. They've always been like a quarters team, so there's 4 DBs, and they're all lined up straight across like that, taking a quarter of the field. But they played a little bit more man this year, and so they're pressuring a little bit more, playing more man. I would anticipate quarters. I would anticipate off coverage. We're going to have to try to open up the middle of the field, try to get safeties to come down so we can throw it over the top. We'll see.
Good. This is your preferred kickoff time, isn't it? 11 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't play too well the first half of the – I actually talked about that in the team meeting this morning. Was like, dude, we wake up like we have 4 cups of coffee by the time it's 7 a.m. Right. Dude, what do we, let's play like we're ready to go, and so we have to start fast. That's the other thing. You look at Kansas, within those first 15 plays, there's 1 or 2 explosive plays, and there's 1 or 2 negative yardage plays. So Kansas starts fast. We've got to start fast, And so I like those 11 o'clock games because you can go hopefully get a win, and then you can be a fan.
Right.
Kind of enjoy the win, watch other games, and be like everybody else for a little bit.
Yeah. It's Thanksgiving tomorrow. You guys will have, I think, your normal practice tomorrow morning. Any observance of Thanksgiving really, or does that not come till maybe after Saturday?
No, yeah. We used to have like a whole thing with the team and kind of Thanksgiving food and everything, but everyone just wanted to go home. They just wanted to go see their folks, and so we have like to-go boxes now. And I think initially it was like, man, we're going to celebrate Thanksgiving as a team, and everybody just wanted to see their mom, Right. So it's like, okay, we'll set stuff up for you so you can get it on the go and make sure that we have to, we make sure everyone has a place to go. And all of that, and so there's a couple guys that are going to go with some of the players on the team.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the guys that are out of state. So everyone's got a spot. So it's going to be well enjoyed and well fed.
Very cool. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, your questions, the audience questions for Coach Dave Aranda. Baylor and Kansas Saturday morning, 11 a.m. at McLean Stadium. We'll take a break and be right back. Thanks for being with us on the Baylor Coaches Show, presented by Central National Bank. We'll be back live from Rudy's right after this.
Elevate your lifestyle with a Baylor Club membership. Enjoy.
I'll be right back.
Access to our exclusive lounge area located in the heart of McLean Stadium. Membership with the Baylor Club means you're part of a vibrant community where networking and forging lasting connections is as easy as a smile and a handshake. Indulge in members-only events and personalized service that caters to your every need. For those extra special moments, host your private events with us. Contact the Baylor Club membership or private events team at 254-710-8080.
This is Elise McGee with Baylor Volleyball, and this is my story. Trying to balance faith, school, and volleyball has felt at times impossible. Having people around you that point you to God and His truth, I feel, is something unique at Baylor. God surrounded me with coaches, teammates, professors, and staff that intertwine Him in our daily lives. My name is Elise McGee, and this is my Champions Tribune.
Read more Champions Tribune at BaylorBears.com.
Welcome to the Make It Jingle with Chris Kringle podcast. Today we're talking to Jan from Toyota, all about Toyotathon.
Hi!
So, tell me about Toyotathon.
Well, from now until January 6th is the perfect time to get a new Camry, RAV4, Highlander, and more.
Oh, how exciting! So what can you do in a new Toyota this holiday season?
With a new RAV4, you can go snowboarding with your friends.
I love dashing through the snow.
Take a Camry to a tree lighting ceremony.
Sounds merry and bright.
Or even load up the family in a Highlander to go ice skating.
What a jolly good time. So, Jan, got any red Tacomas? After my big job, I'm taking the missus down to Florida to go surfing.
Florida? I'm there.
Dealer inventory may vary. Current offers on these vehicles end December 2nd. Offers are subject to change throughout Toyotathon, which ends on January 6th. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota. Let's go places. During Toyotathon, qualified buyers can get 2.99% APR financing for 72 months on a rugged new 2025 Tundra. Offer available in select states only.
Yes.
Baylor Coach on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Show presented by Central National Bank with Coach Dave Aranda. Coach, we got some questions from the audience. Some good questions from the audience. John Jackson is right over there. John asked, how do you balance prepping for a game and staying current with portal additions that you have to evaluate during the season?
Yeah, it's both at the same time, and so that's happening right now. You know, there's some of the seasons for some of the divisions have already ended, and so there's guys that are taking a visit. There's guys that are already taking visits. You know, this is the week to do it, and so we're in that same type of category in terms of hosting and doing all the things, and you know, we're trying to keep track and up to date as people go into it. We're trying to hold on to guys so that guys don't go in the portal from our place, you know, and so that's at the same time as trying to stop 4 verticals, you know. And so, like, you have to, you know, what's been harder for me in this time is that in the football time, you have to make enough, for sure, enough time for the people time. It used to be people for me all the time, you know. And so now to balance both and to go from this to that is harder to do than what I thought. It's hard to do.
And signing period begins next Wednesday, a week from today, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're trying to hold on to the class, so we're fighting as you would expect. You know, it's a good class, and guys are working hard to do it. I feel really confident that we're going to do that. We're probably going to add to it here too, right? So we've got a few additions coming to that class, so it's one of the best classes that I think Baylor's had, and I'm really proud of it.
Ooh, look forward to that. David Rothrock asked, what is the training regimen for your athletes? Cardio, strength, academics, hours per week, things like that.
Yeah, there's a limit in terms of how much they can do, you know, in terms of the football piece, so you kind of have to go within that limit. And so I think we have 2 players on our team that kind of get educated on all of it and see the schedules and are kind of the truth tellers if we go beyond it, you know, so we stay within those limits. And then, you know, I think the strength conditioning part I think is really important. We lift all throughout the season. Vic Valori is our strength coach. He does a great job, but I think that the guys look at that as like that's an extra or that's an advantage when they're lifting heavy weights at the end of the year. We've had some transfers that come over and go, are you guys really doing that? And like, yeah, we're really doing it. And they get into it after a while. And so we kind of keep those routines going. As practice goes towards the end of the year, we start cutting time. So it kind of becomes shorter and shorter, less full contact. Defensively and offensively, well, if we have like 4 team periods, 2 of them will be kind of teach periods. Well, I'm right behind the linebacker saying, hey, look at this, step here, all this other thing. Then the last 2 will be full speed ones, and so we try to save their legs if we can, as much as we can.
Yeah, very good. Thanks for that. Mark Berry is right here. Mark asked, how did the Colorado game affect the season?
Yeah. Let's see. In the moment, you just feel broken, you know. In the moment, you feel so small. And so, yeah, I think what was good about that is that you could kind of be honest and transparent after that, and the team could see that. And so I think maybe prior to moments like that, they don't know, especially when transfers come, they don't know how to judge you. They don't know. It takes moments like that to see, okay, this is for real. You know, he's going to say the truth, or he's going to own it, or he's going to whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I think when you handle bad stuff in a good way, it's hard to do. But then I think it makes it more real for everyone around, you know. And so then from there, you can kind of tell the truth on anything. And then guys are able to believe it and know that you're not playing games. So I think for me particularly, it was important in that way.
Yeah, very good. All right, final question. We got about a minute left. And sorry to limit you on this, but Roy asked, what is one of your favorite Thanksgiving memories?
Oh, yeah. When, I'm ashamed to say, but I was younger. This is before I had chores. So I'd wake up and I'd just smell all the food in the kitchen, and then there'd be like John Madden would be on TV with Pat Summerall, and he would be having the turducken and all the things. And, man, I go, man, this is just like the perfect day. And I'm just on the couch. I didn't have to do nothing. So I imagine I should say, like, family or people and stuff, but it's probably that.
That's funny. Turducken. That's great.
Yeah.
Very good. Coach, thanks very much. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Look forward to the game on Saturday. Good luck against Kansas. Congratulations on what you've already accomplished this year.
No, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Coach Dave Aranda, Baylor football, Kansas, Saturday, 11 a.m. at McLean Stadium. Back to wrap things up right after this.
It's the biggest blockbuster on the Brazos, and you don't want to miss the premiere of Baylor women's basketball at brand new Foster Pavilion for the upcoming season. The Bears provide an elite atmosphere and return to the court with head coach
It'll be about 1 minute, John.
Helm and another sweet
Look at you.
pavilion lets to the action. So help us fill the Foster.
He was great. Yeah.
Baylor Bears.
Keeping it brief.
Tickets.
TFNB, your bank for life, is the.
I don't even want any duck near my Thanksgiving.
Are making
I just don't like the flavor. It's just too gamey.
Savings accounts to earn interest or cash back.
I grew up eating squirrel, so it has to be really gamey for me not to like it. And duck qualifies, yeah. Duck, quail, and lamb. I'm not quail, dove. Quail is delicious. Quail is white meat. Dove looks like duck meat. It's dark and it's tough and gamey. It's just terrible.
Include on-field photos, sideline access during warm-ups, tunnel access during the team run-out, an in-game radio booth experience with the voice of the Bears, a birthday bash, and so much more. There's limited availability, so purchase your experience today at BaylorBears.com/group experiences or the Baylor Sports app to lock in your one-of-a-kind game day experience today.
Y'all listen up. Let me tell you something about group meals from Rudy's Barbecue. It's got all you need for all the folks you gotta feed, smoked meat, sides, and more. There's everything down to the tablecloth, just like the one that you see at the store. And a bridal shower, it's better than flowers. And a long business meeting, it'll pass the hours. It'll feed all the cousins at a family function. It's better than potluck at a church luncheon. Next time you need to feed 10 or more, call and order a Rudy's group meal.
Next in line.
Yeah, exactly 1 minute. Or close, Sure.
Listening to the Baylor Coaches Show on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Tonight here live from Rudy's, our final show for the fall semester. We'll be back in the spring. Watch for the schedule. That'll be released fairly shortly. We'll get that to you as soon as we can, but we'll be back in the spring. And appreciate really everyone being here tonight. I mean, it is Thanksgiving Eve, and a lot of you folks have made it an appointment to be here tonight, and we appreciate that. Or those of you watching or listening, thank you very much for that. Baylor football again versus Kansas, Saturday morning, 11 a.m. kickoff. Senior Day. Come to support the seniors and send them out the right way. I know that's a huge part of the motivation for this game, the final game of the regular season. Men's basketball won today in Foster Pavilion over New Orleans. The Baylor women play New Orleans on Friday at 2 p.m. in Foster Pavilion. Thanks to Michael Ford, who was with us. Thanks to Coach Dave Aranda, who was with us tonight.